Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and today we're going to take a closer look at this little snap-on pocket work light. This is a USB-C rechargeable light. It's got a 2000 milliamp battery in it, fairly light, under 5 ounces. It has this articulating little wing off the side that's got 2 magnets to help hold it to something, or you can use this as a stand. It's designed, primarily to live in a pocket or to be a kind of a quick access light, which is why it's thin and light. Does have a battery indicator here when you turn it on, and the way this works is if you turn it on and then you hold it, it cycles back and forth through its brightest setting and then blinks down to its lowest setting and blinks. So it runs from about 400 lumens down to 40 lumens. Its runtime is about 3 hours on high, a lot more on low. I'm not sure the number, but I'm going to compare it head to head to this Klein. This is one of my favorite lights. A few other runners up. Here's that old snap-on that I had that turns on if you just breathe on it. It's a good, solid, bright light. It's just, I think, way too easy to turn on. In fact, I made a metal cage for it. That looks like this that I have to keep it in. Some people say that's crazy, but honestly, I think it's dangerous. It's a very bright light, and it turns on with just a flush touch back here. This is just, it's so easy to turn on, and then it takes seconds to turn it off. So I just need to rework that. There's Milwaukee, one of my favorites. Little light. This has an articulating head. It goes to 90, actually a little past 90. A couple, I think 3 different settings. I think this clip's on the wrong side, but I've gone over that. It does have a battery indicator. This is just a useful, solid, good light with a strong magnet, so it easily mounts to something and then you can adjust it. There's a classic old snap-on. I love this thing. It's kind of what made me more interested in snap-on lights. This just has a simple USB or micro USB with bright, less bright, off. And that's it. Real strong magnet. I did have to put some electrician's tape. Might have to update it a little because this is got a gap around it and all kinds of iron filings and stuff got in there I had to clean out. But anyway, real solid. Just beat the crap out of it and it still works. Here's a Milwaukee headlamp. This is a battery-powered headlamp that I just took the headband off of and stuck a neodymium magnet to it. So I've got a tiny little work light that I can adjust and point and do whatever I want with. In kind of a work light setting. Of course, I can use it kind of as a kickstand too. You can see, but I've got this set up with just electrician's tape and a neodymium magnet, kind of to get a proof of concept. Once I dial it in, then I'm going to anchor all of this. But right now, I think that's more useful to me than it is as a headlamp. And then here's a Braun. We're not going to talk about these guys because they throw everything else off in terms of price and power and simplicity and durability and brightness and runtime and everything else. This is just, we're not going to go there. Anyway, so let's talk about the Klein and the snap-on. The Klein runs max output at about 460 lumens, so 60 lumens more than this. It's not noticeable, and it has to also do with the spread of the light, the color of the light, things like that. Depending on what you want. The snap-on has a nice, clear, bright light, and the Klein has a bright light as well. You can see, actually this is on the lowest setting. Let me crank it up. There we go. You can see it's a little bit different color. This to me is more of a spotlightish, the way it presents. And you can see those LEDs. Maybe turn it a little lower. Let's see. You can see how there's rows of LEDs. But anyway, this is to me a little bit more uniform light. The Klein has this wonderful articulating base with a magnet. This has a magnet, I think it's a little close, but it works. It's not the strongest magnet. It'd be nice if you had a little more leverage. But this particular one, solid. I use these on, like I've said before, on cars and trucks. You just snap it to the frame and you've got some great area lighting. Get a couple of these. It has a 360 degree rotation here and a 270 degree here. So you can probably find a useful position. So if you want to, be pointed down, working, you can. If you want to be pointed up, You can, if you want to attach it to something, it has the carabiner. It's just a really surprisingly useful design, this little articulating thing here. And you can use it like this, and I do this all the time, as kind of more of a lens cover. Now, this guy runs about 9 hours, it says, if you start it on high on the 460. Of course, it throttles down in brightness. And it says 16 hours on the lower setting, which is 175 lumens. So if I had a complaint about this, it'd be that the low setting is too high. The low setting really should be low. The difference between 460 and 175, it's noticeable, but it's not enough of a drop to really make that a feature. This one drops from 400 down a whole 0 to 40. That is noticeable. I almost would like it a little bit lower for certain other conditions, close up, confined, and extremely long run time, but that's not really what it's for. It's a pocket light. This also has USB charging, but it uses the older USB or micro USB versus USB-C, and you can use it as an output to charge your phone if you'd like. That's part of this. So it does have a larger battery, hence longer runtime. Hence, it's almost twice the weight as this thing. So it's noticeable in the pocket, but you could easily drop it in your pocket and then work with it. It's kind of nice, or your belt or whatever. So it has features that way. Price on these: this one's $52.50. Right now on Snap-on, this one's been $39.95 all day long, whether big box or Amazon or something else. I'm really happy with it. Good solid light. The Snap-on, I was more Snap-on curious, is a nice super light functional light that would probably be better off served like in a pocket, just a handy light that you're carrying. However, if it's really designed for pocket, it should probably have more of a clip, because this isn't going to stay in your pocket very well. So I think there's room for improvement, but it is on the lower end of the price for Snap-on lights. They just start jumping up. I mean, this one's gone up probably $10 since I got it, so I think this is pushing almost $120. This one I think was about $60 in the day, so $52. I got this actually under $50 when I ordered it, but it comes in more colors than the Klein does. Is it worth it? If you like Snap-on, if you can get a good deal, if you have a I assume there's a warranty for a while on this thing, and if you collect green, I know there's a few of you out there, but if you want to have a good solid light for a little less money that does a few more things, I like the Klein. They're both made in China. This one on the battery indicator, these are 25% battery indications, so there are 4 of them there: red, kind of an amber, green, and a brighter green. The Snap-on has just basically got 2 here that'll pop up. Both charge pretty fast. The Snap-ons right now are back ordered, though, I noticed on their website. So even if you wanted one, you probably can't get one. But there are plenty of Kleins around. Anyway, they're 2 different types of light, very similar form factor. There are also others. They're really inexpensive ones that seem to have mixed reviews. I know Olight has got one out that's sort of in this kind of form factor, this flexible stand. But both of these seem like solid performers. Kind of comes down to preference. If you have to carry it in your pocket, the Snap-on's kind of nice. The articulating base here is really hard to beat. So anyway, those are the initial thoughts that I have. I haven't had this terribly long. I've had this one a long time. It's never let me down. And with that, Doc out.